Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 142 of Total Retail Talks. In today's episode, Total Retail's editor-in-chief Melissa Campanelli sits down with Neil Madvani, head of sales at Boxed. Listen in as they discuss the future of Boxed and what's next in 2018. All recorded live at this year's Total Retail Roundtable in New York City. And now, on to the show.
So I briefly mentioned Boxed, but why don't you tell the crowd a little bit about it? I'm sure you guys all have heard of it, but it would be good to get your perspective.
This one's short. It's a wholesale club online. So no stores, online, and
That's pretty much it?
Yeah. Well, no, so I'm about to share a little bit, but the showing off I'm going to do has nothing to do with me. I joined 6 months ago. It was started by a guy named Che Huang. Che is amazing. He is one of the most inspirational CEOs I've ever met. I met him for the first time a few years ago, and I was working for Staples doing mergers and acquisitions at the time. And when I walked out of the room, I turned to my boss and I said, I want to work for that guy. Without thinking to myself, maybe he'll fire me. We've been around for about 4.5 years. They've managed to raise around $150 million in funding, and Che pays out of, I think, from his own pocket, right, David? Out of his own pocket, he pays for weddings and tuitions for families that work for us. So,
Wow.
Gives you a little bit about us.
So what is your background and what's your role at Boxed? We should probably talk about that a little.
So background, meandering. Started in the fine jewelry industry, designing jewelry.
So
I got
wow.
second jeweler.
That's cool.
Second jeweler tonight. Used to design for Zales and for K's and for a bunch of other companies you may or may not know. Wasn't good at it. Just terrible at it. So bad. So we actually turned the business into a liquidation business. I was still in the fine jewelry business, but in liquidation. Then worked for Staples for a little while. Did their mergers and acquisitions. Bought a bunch of cool companies, AI and stuff like that. Taught me a lot. Then I was in packaging. I used to sell boxes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
We love packages here.
Yeah. So I managed the industrial division of Staples for a couple years and sold a lot of boxes.
Cool.
Yeah, my friends used to, 18 years of education, Neil, and you sell cardboard.
Well, this is the perfect place for you to work at Boxed.
Yeah, that's right. Everyone thought I was going to a packaging company. Yeah, but no.
So anyway, one of the things I wanted to talk about with you is that you head up the B2B side of the business.
Yes.
And I know that B2B is it's a very huge part of retail. It's a big part of the industry. I'd love to hear your perspective on the B2B philosophy or strategy at Boxed, and just kind of tell me about it.
Yeah, we all are terrible at it, and we're trying to figure it out. I think if you look at the way product is sold to businesses today, it is such a gap. You know, Amazon and companies like Rockets of Awesome and so many others are really paying attention to the consumer, really caring about them, really figuring out how to take care of them. I just don't think it's happened in the B2B segment. And there's basic things that we just haven't figured out. So office managers, and I'm going to say she over here because like over 80% of them are women, have to get 5 people or 10 people or 15 people to vote or participate and figure out what they're buying that week. And there's no convenient way for them to do it.
That's
right?
interesting.
Until probably 2 weeks ago when we built group buying. So now they can send a link out to 20 individuals, 50 individuals. Those people can add anything they want to a shared shopping cart without having to log in. And then they just click order, right? It's such a basic concept, and no one's figured it out yet. So just like if you think about the base, like if you go from purchase all the way to supply chain, businesses have higher average order values. But our supply chains are built for Amazon, which is a $40 to $50 average order value. Supply chain is broken. Warehousing is broken. Everything from start to finish for serving a business is broken. So we have a lot of work to do, but there's immense opportunity.
How would you? I'm going off script. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I am too.
We did have a prep call. This is not all natural. So, do you feel? I mean, is B2B an area for a traditional retailer to even think about getting themselves into? Like, is it an area that, you know, they might be looking for new revenue streams? You know, should they try to get into B2B, or is that not a good idea?
Yeah, it's funny. I talk about it with our leadership team, but I also talk about it with my family business. It's all about focus. If you're going to spend time on it, and you're actually going to build a team, and you're actually going to spend money on it and invest, yes, absolutely. They buy more, they spend more, they're less price sensitive, they actually have the ability to be consistent. It's a wonderful business model if you're going to spend time on it.
Right.
If you're not, don't waste your time. Go do the consumer thing. Stay happy.
Right.
You know.
So what was it about Box though that made it such a big part of the business? You know what?
Accident, I think. What happened was, I think, six months ago or so, maybe 9 months, we figured out we had a lot of businesses as customers, and then we were like, okay, well, maybe we should take care of them, you know. And then that's around when they hired me, and we're trying to figure out how to make sure that we actually focus, that we actually spend time, that we actually invest. But yeah, it was an accident. I think by a lot of retailers' standards, that's exactly what happens. A lot of retailers just happen to sell to businesses, and they're like, oh, wow, this is a good customer. What's this?
Right.
And then they start trying a different way. I think that's how Costco got into it.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So Sam's Club, I know. BJ's is building a channel sales division just by accident because they had a lot of companies buying from them and selling somewhere else.
Wow. So what are your plans? You've only been there for about 6 months, I guess. But what are your plans for the division? How are you going to grow it, or what's your vision, I should say?
Yeah, it starts from the customer. You're probably going to hear this a lot tonight. If you're not spending time with the customer, if you're not actually talking to them and spending the moments of actually having the conversation about their days at a boring level, then you're not doing your job, right? So you have to ask them, what do you do in the morning? Okay, you get into work. One of my favorite insights, right, in one of these conversations was, they don't want to spend time on their mobile phones.
Wow.
Why?
You tell me.
Because they're going to look like they're texting their friends.
Oh, interesting.
You're an office manager. You don't want your boss, who's potentially sitting right behind you,
Wow.
thinking you're spending the entire day on your phone.
Wow, that's a good point.
Yeah. That's also why sometimes they don't want to click on an ad from LinkedIn.
Interesting. Is there a particular vertical that you're focusing on with B2B?
Yes. We've identified that we're very good for companies that want to take very good care of their employees. So if you want to buy healthy, high-quality snacks, forks that don't break while you're eating that are plastic, cups that actually are like the national brand, garbage bags that don't break while you're moving them out of the garbage can and they don't leak on your new shoes. These are the things that we provide. So you're looking at companies that are law firms, consultancies, innovation firms, the kind of company that's willing to spend. It's funny because we're actually a cheaper alternative or a less expensive alternative than most companies out there. But that's the sweet spot for us. I think it's because of our company culture and people finding out about us because they find out about the fact that we actually care about our employees.
Right, right. So I asked Rachel, I guess, I'm not sure if Rachel's here, but I asked her a little bit about the marketing side of things and how you get the word out about it. And you just mentioned that you do, a lot of people know the company at this point from the general press.
Subway ads?
Yeah. Do you do any marketing that you could talk about to promote the B2B side? And is there some nuances there that you could share?
Yeah. I think it starts from figuring out where the customer wants to have a conversation with you. So we're spending a lot of time on social media and blogs and Twitter. We're spending a lot of time from the paid perspective on Facebook, Instagram. We haven't quite figured out LinkedIn yet, but we will, hopefully. And we're spending a lot of time with, once we get them to sign up and say, hey, listen, I'm interested, figuring out what purchase path are they going to go on, right? Okay, so they signed up. Why did they sign up? What are they interested in? What did they look at? How can we tailor that experience, not to be intrusive, but to be the kind of company that focuses on what you want, not what we want to sell you, and then change what we sell based on what you want, right? So that purchase path looks different, right? So if you buy, the products are going to get boring here, but it's better than boxes. If you buy Bounty paper towels and toilet paper the first time you purchase from us, and then the second time you buy nuts and trail mix, maybe you want to look at chocolate. Maybe you want to look at RX bars. Maybe you want to, let's see if when we send you a healthy snack alternative, you're going to spend some time on it. And then we're working on figuring out how that purchase path works so that we can expose to customers the things they want instead of the things we want to sell them. And that's one way. The other way is once they start engaging with us, we're talking about the things that we can do to make their lives easier. And then getting feedback, actually talking to them. You can pick up the phone. Yeah, it's okay if you're an e-commerce company to pick up the phone, right? So we pick up the phone and we ask them, "How was this? Was it crappy?" Right? And that's what gets us.
Cool. Yeah, it seems like that's a theme tonight is the idea of data and getting to know your customers. It's kind of like, so are there any sort of technology trends or best practices or trends you're looking at right now, like at where you sit at Boxed? Are you looking for certain types of technology or? Yeah,
I mean, so there's two ways to look at it, right? There's the how the sausage is made side, and then there's the okay, I'm gonna try to sell it to you now. So let's talk about the how the sausage is made side, right? We also have our own supply chain, we have our own warehouses, and we're really spending time thinking about how do we make those warehouses as automated as possible. So, we're more automated in some ways than Amazon is in our New Jersey warehouse. So the product comes to the packing station. We're building robots to actually figure out, okay, now how are we going to make it come to the packing station faster? How are we going to make them pack better? We have AI and intelligence around, okay, what's the best size? Right? So machine learning algorithms, actually, not AI, not pure AI. How do we pack this box so that it's the most efficient delivery, it's the most efficient cost, the customer is not going to have to deal with, an open box that has an iPhone in a box this size,
right,
that kind of thing. So the supply chain side is where we're doing some of the most interesting stuff from an AI perspective and from a technology perspective. On the sales side, we're fast followers. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel, except for where the customer shows a specific need, and that's the group purchasing thing.
Okay, so one more question, and then I'm going to open it up to questions from the audience. Yeah. Unfortunately, I couldn't do that with the last speaker because she had to run, but that is part of the agenda.
I thought I was special. I was getting excited.
So what are your goals for Box for 2018 and going forward?
Grow. And we're a startup, right? There is only one real goal. Right. Well, actually, that's not true. I would say grow and figure out how to spend more time actually making our employees excited about us. But they're already very excited about us, but how do we do better? And that's a question we ask ourselves every day. Right? One of the things I've not been doing well, and one of the things that I'm really excited about doing better is what's the first day experience for an employee? Right?
Yeah, we did talk about this on the phone.
Yeah.
We talked about how, that's a passion for you. It's like the hiring and keeping employees happy.
Yeah. So the hiring process is, are they curious? Are they competent? Are they creative? Are they kind? Are they competitive? You know, there's an entire set of things for that. But then once they show up, what am I doing the first day? This person is getting paid, you know, hopefully a lot of money by us, right? And we're investing all this money in them. What's the first day look like, right? What was the company?
It's interesting.
There's a hotel, I think it's in Los Angeles. I was reading this book about this. It was amazing. There's a hotel in Los Angeles that has really, really mediocre rooms. And a pool that you'd see in like your backyard, but if it was like built 25 years ago. It's just a destructively, you know what I'm talking about? No, it's a really, really...
Ed stayed there.
Like if we stayed at this hotel, most of us would be like, don't go back, right? But there's a little red phone next to the pool. And you can walk over to it and pick it up. And it's called the popsicle phone. And a guy that's dressed up with a silver tray with a white towel on top of it with a selection of popsicles shows up. And it's hot outside and you get your popsicles. And that experience is the reason why they're one of the highest rated hotels.
That's interesting.
In that area, right? So if you can figure out how to create an experience like that at the very early stages of an employee's time at a company, I think you can change the entire dynamic of the company and the entire culture of the company over time. So that's actually my little,
little nugget.
Yeah, right now that's what I'm focused on.
Thanks for listening. For more information on this podcast, be sure to visit our podcast channel page at www.mytotalretail.com/podcast for show notes. Total Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher, but be sure to subscribe to our podcast channel page as well. Thanks, and until next time, this has been Total Retail Talks.